But just before we went to break, I put the question out there, could you be too pretty to get a job? There's an Israeli study that came out that showed it, and it was reported on in The Economist. Essentially, they had people send resumes with or without a picture attached to the resume. And the picture, or the resumes that had pictures of beautiful women attached, were far less likely to get called in for an interview for the job.
By whom?
The Human Resources Department.
Is
HR.
it male or female HR?
They said
This is their thing. They think it's mostly female HR.
Of course it is.
And and it's jealousy. Is that what you think, David? Is that
Yes.
why you said that?
Yes, on the surface, I
yeah.
think the amateur psychology on that would be that it's a female human resources person.
I think it's a little simplistic maybe to attribute.
Well, let's get it down to
unemployment.
simplicity at its finest, shall we?
Down
You know what?
to
Even if the
aesthetics.
study is correct, it's so what?
No.
It's not a big deal. There's so many liabilities that people face when looking for a job. If being pretty is one of them, well, then you know what? Get over it.
Exactly. Get over it. Yes.
Get over it.
We go somewhere with a male HR department.
Exactly.
Isn't this what Charlize Theron ran into when she tried to go out for this role of the serial killer
Monster?
in Monster?
Right.
And she had to really dowdy herself up in order to convince
Boy, did
someone.
she,
But it's
too.
somebody that went in for auditions and they just were not convinced that this actress could pull this off. It wasn't Charlize Theron.
That probably happens a fair bit, I would imagine,
Yeah.
especially with actresses. But
Right.
even your name can be a liability too. Like sometimes when you see a certain ethnicity on a resume, there are statistics that show that those people may not get hired as well. So there's a lot of things
Right.
that can get
Your
in the way.
name, your age,
But
your
that's
height.
racism. That's racism. This is reverse sexism. This is women dissing women based upon their
Maybe
looks.
it's handsome men too.
What?
It said the resume with photos of handsome men were more likely to result in an interview.
Oh, okay, so it works for men.
Yeah.
I stand
Prey to
corrected.
some kind of discrimination. I mean, like I said, a height difference. Most CEOs are six feet and up. So does that say that if you are born short like me, 5'2", Filipino woman, like what are my chances of being a CEO?
I don't
But I'm
know.
not going to carry
And
that
those
as a
heels
chip
pretty
in my
good.
shoulder. I know. I have to wear 6-inch heels.
But
And a lot of great actors are, you know, little people. Little people.
But the head of the studios, big people.
big, tall people. Yeah, people do attribute power and
to them.
authority to tall people. But they also say that, not in this study, but I've seen a million studies before too, that attractive people tend to earn more in the span of their careers. So if you can get the job, you're
You're
golden.
going to make more money eventually.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, here's another one. Citizens Medical Center, a hospital in Victoria, Texas, has come under fire over its controversial hiring policy, basically turning away obese applicants. If your BMI is, and that's your body mass index, is 35 or higher, they are saying you can't work here.
Can they legally do that?
I don't imagine that they could legally do that because that would be discriminating based on a
That
physical
wouldn't stand
quality.
up to a court
Yeah, I
challenge.
don't
Someone
think
will
so.
take that to court now.
Well, the hospital's policy was quoted in the Texas Tribune as saying an employee's physique should fit with a representational image or specific mental projection of the job of a healthcare professional. This is in a medical
but they'll take
center.
large people, they just won't take obese people.
But also, too, your
Yes.
BMI, sometimes it's not just your BMI that's a reflection of health because there are people, too, that are maybe have a higher BMI, but they're more physically fit. And so that, I don't think that's a good way to distinguish. Or
What's the name of this company?
Citizens Medical Center. But the USA Today was reporting that a lot of companies are also banning people who smoke and not hiring them for health concerns, and that would have to do with insurance and all of that sort of thing. As
Maybe they're
what
on the
is
second
subsequent-
floor and they figure people that large won't be able to get up there.
There's
Well,
a
when it's
big
a
debate
health center.
surrounding obesity and whose fault it is and how we should deal with it, right? Was it a school in the U.S. or was that somebody
It was the
saying,
doctor that was in here
suggesting that we should give
Oh, the
bad
Dukin
grades
Yeah.
for students
Kids who are overweight.
Like kids don't have enough to worry about.
Because
Yeah,
obesity is a
exactly.
problem, and everybody's wondering, well, who should we blame?
Yeah. Well,
And
there-
how
there's
should we
lots
fix
of
it?
there's
different
nutrition,
things.
there's exercise. I just don't think we should go around penalizing
And
people.
there's genetics,
That's just
Exactly.
yeah.
which is the wild card that nobody can control.